Hi guys, this is Fiona. So a lot of people ask me about the wall behind me, so I thought I would finally talk about it. These are just a tiny part of my fragrance collections, and honestly, I really love fragrances. When I think about it, my connection with fragrances actually started very early. I'm the youngest one in my family, and my closest sister, who is 8 years older than me, I remember that back in my primary school, maybe in my second or third grade, I used to secretly open her drawer and there were a lot of fragrances like Lancome's Treasure, DK1 was her favorite, and L'Odyssée by Issey Miyake, Kenzo Flower, and also that blue teddy bear bottle by Givenchy. At that age, I didn't understand perfume, but I do remember thinking that how can something smell so beautiful? And it was completely different world for me. And the first perfume I received as a gift was coming from my English tutor when I was in primary school. Her name was Grace. And I remember the bottle, it was a green bottle with a very special face shape with a nose and lips shaped of the bottle. And only when I grew up did I realize that it was actually Salvador Dali's Laguna. And that Salvador Dali actually owns a fragrance brand. And now that perfume is discontinued, but in my memory, it will always be my first fragrance. And in my high school, I had some friends skateboarded and they wore Tommy Hilfiger and also DK1Y Be Delicious. To me, it still smells very teenage to me. I went to a private girls' school, and one day a male friend from another school came to pick me up. I remember so clearly the scent he wore was Hugo's EDT. I forgot where we were heading to, but I remember so clearly about the scent he wore. And that's when I realized fragrance is deeply connected to memory. And I started using perfume more regularly when I was in college. Elizabeth Arden's Green Tea, Bulgari's Omnia Crystalline, Marc Jacobs Daisy, and of course Chloe, the classic EDT. And after I started working, a friend gave me Marc Jacobs Lola as my birthday gift. I really loved the scent, but later on it also discontinued. Then I entered beauty industry, and of course I was surrounded by fragrances like Miss Dior, Chardot, Jo Malone, so many iconic ones. As I grew older, and maybe because I work in this industry for a long time, my taste slowly shifted. I now more prefer some niche fragrances. And that is why now you see the bottles like Penhaligon's, Le Labo, Aesop, Maison Margiela, and so on. I also love home fragrances like candles, incense, diffusers. To me, fragrance is not about smelling good. It's about mood, it's about memory, it's about comfort. I've always believed that makeup, fashion, and perfumes, they are not for others, they are for ourselves. If I feel beautiful, if I feel comfortable, if I smell good to myself, my day already feels better. And that's why I usually prefer fragrances that are more subtle, the kind that only you can really smell. My recent favorite is Labo's Gaia 10, the Tokyo exclusive. Actually, before that, my favorite was another 13, but recently it shifted to Gaia 10. It smells clean, soft, and comforting, and like you just took a shower, like you're fresh skin, and it's very quiet and very gentle. I'm also a huge fan of Aesop's fragrances. They are usually gender neutral and sophisticated, and they are more inspired by nature. They don't try to steal the attention, but it stays close to you. Given that I'm also very open with fragrances, there are also some stronger scents I loved. For example, Penhaligon's Dolce Roses, Luna, they both left very strong impression on me. I think a good fragrance always have depth. You can feel the layers, you can feel the quality, and it's not just nice, it feels intentional. And that is why I think fragrance is such a beautiful thing. It's invincible, but it stays with you. It became part of how people remember you. If you're interested, I can slowly share about my favorite perfumes and one by one. And yeah, not as an expert, but just someone who truly loves fragrances.